What up? What up? What up, thou? Welcome back to the college football show right here on odds.com. Before we take off into this show, because we're going to be taking off soon, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and let us know something in the comment section. Let us know you're in the house so we can shout you out. But I'm here today. Of course, I'm DJ Big Boss. I'm here with my guys, the Big Ragoo and Conor Mack. Big Ragoo, how you feeling on a Wednesday, brother?
I feel good, man. Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Kudos to them. Had a big parade down in Tampa today on the boat and
Cool.
Nice.
and the port there. So yeah, everything's good, man. Everything's coming up roses. I need the Yankees to come across tonight so we can finish that out and then onto the bubble. But more excitingly, college football Wednesday night action.
As you know, how about you, Conor Mack? How you feeling today down there in Vegas?
Feeling good. Like I was talking with Ragoo, it's finally like cooling down a little bit. Nights are getting into the 60s. Sorry, it's always so hot. Like 95 here, just dry heat is like gorgeous. It's like, as long as it's not 115, like 90, 95 is great. And the nights have been the 60s. So it's been good. Up and down day in baseball, but that's for another show. Cardinals won first 5. That was my last. So, but Yankees, I'm with Ragoo. But that's for another show. Let's get to some college football.
That's right. Now, before we go into this week coming up, let's take a look back at last week. Any spots, anything in there you guys want to talk about, or anyone a half a point miss or something in there of last week you guys want to know?
Yeah, I'm just gonna touch on my best bet that I gave out last week, which depending on when you bet it, I know at Showtime it was like 3.5, 4. It was a Tennessee game. It landed on 4. I bet it at 3. It cashed for me. So hopefully, pay attention to the articles when we're trying to give out best bets. We try to get them before they kick off, obviously. But that was a later in the evening game. So, but the SEC as a whole, was the first week for the SEC, and there were some big numbers. Some of them didn't quite get there. Some of them got there in the first half. Like our Alabama first half that went in. Georgia got off to a real slow start. We didn't know what was going on there with the quarterback situation. So that kind of put a damper on the offense, and I think they were kind of holding some stuff back too. But anyways, just tread lightly early with these, teams that are getting cranked up, and we'll move forward.
That's right. And me, myself, man, I had a horrible Saturday. I had a couple that didn't make it to the window with, but was high on Kentucky. Kentucky came in there. They were putting in work early, and then second half was just a little bit too much for them. And then my best bet in the Georgia Southern game, I missed out on a touchdown, 2 touchdowns on the goal line, a couple other factors. Probably could have took that over easily. So I can't really regret it. Now, the pick that I probably should have got to the window with, and I don't know how I didn't make it to the window with, was the under in the Georgia game, which was a beautiful call, but didn't quite make it to the window with that one. So, yeah. A couple other Pitt. I had Pitt. That was my push. I can't really count the Alabama first half as a pick of mine, even though I did cash it. But, that was sort of a trend bet. So that worked out for me a little bit, got me a little bit out the hole so I can make it back on Sunday. But I don't know. Didn't really see nothing. I was kind of disappointed in Texas A&M. I was surprised, in the Mike Leach and the Kiffin thing. We had one work really, really well and one that didn't work so well. And we see what's going on over there at LSU now. What else was exciting? Syracuse. Don't dig too far in the Syracuse Georgia Tech game. I looked at that game. It was a couple trick plays, a couple turnovers for touchdowns. I don't think Syracuse played as impressive as it looked on paper, so don't fall too far into that one. Duke. I was high on Duke. I didn't play it or nothing, but they came out first half firing off a little bit and then kind of lost it in the fourth quarter as well.
They got a lot of problems, Duke, right now. Trust me on that. 0-3 start, and they're looking possibly to go 0-4 this week. We'll get into that game though. But yeah, Duke's
Yeah,
got some issues.
yeah. And then Boston College, man. Boston College looked really good the first week, and then they played this Texas State team. Now I know this Texas State team has a lot of leadership over there, and I didn't expect the game to be that close. The first game, Boston College looked pretty explosive, but I didn't get to watch the full game, so I can't really tell you the details of what happened in that one. That's something I might have to go review, but I don't have a good look on Boston College or Texas State this week, so that might not be called for. But that's just some of the things that I had. Anything best bets you guys had that didn't make it to the window? Couldn't have been the best bet, but let's say bets that you wish you should have made that you didn't quite make it to the window with.
No. I went to the window on mine. So, but Ole Miss, my best bet, Ole Miss, which I still took a lot from that game. We might get into Ole Miss here coming up, their game this week. They didn't cover. They gave up a lot of points, but it was good to see. I think Ole Miss will be able to move the ball pretty well this week if they could figure out this defense. Trask just put up a huge, 4 or 5 touchdowns. He had a huge game. But other than that, it was good. My week at Texas Tech, plus 18, almost won it. FIU covered. Bama first half. Baylor minus 17. And like we said, Ole Miss missed. And I had Georgia. I went with Georgia first half too. You got me a little bit going there, boss. So I rolled with it a little bit. I lost that one, and then I took a few other. I took K-State with a 28. I thought that was kind of a steal, and they outright won, which was crazy. And we'll talk about Texas, and we'll talk about Oklahoma too. Their game with Iowa State coming up, and the line on that. So yeah, it was pretty solid Saturday overall.
Absolutely. And now, as cappers, you got to have a short memory. So there it is there. We're going to pack up last week and start heading in this week right away. Now, before we go into the full week, let's just go. Anything jumped off the board to you guys?
For this week coming up?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's go into jump right off the board. That means that you took a look at it, you looked at the line, and you said something is wrong right there.
You know what? I think maybe one. Well, I tell you what, the big game everybody's talking about is the Air Force and Navy game.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge move. Navy was, I think they were like one. Air Force was 1 point, now Navy's like a touchdown. So, the reason being is they had like 40 players that they turned around when they said they weren't playing when the Mountain West was out. So they I guess they gave the guys, the athletes, an opportunity to come back for the following season. And now that they're back in, they're trying to possibly get some of these kids to come back on the field. But, in the academies, all the seniors are the ones that are playing. The guys, the next up guys are the freshmen and sophomores. They rarely see the field. So that's basically who they're going with. They have hardly no starters coming back. I think they have 3 starters on the offensive side and no defensive kids coming back. So that's the big reason for the line move there. And I don't know how it's going to pan out for them, but they haven't had any film to look at. I guess the opposing side, they were kind of complaining a little bit. But listen, they don't need film to know what they're going to do because they play each other. The academies, they all run that same scheme. So basically, Navy's kind of got those games under their belt. But I don't know. They're playing in Colorado Springs. So we'll see how that pans out. But that's a big move. I know a bunch of people hammered that. They're already over Navy, minus, the 6-7 points.
Yeah, those military teams I tread the water thinly, but I really like Army, man. Army is tough, man.
Well, the quarterback, they lost their quarterback too because something happened with Connolly with the some not academic, but he kind of fell out of favor with the academy, and he's off the team right now. So they lost their quarterback, so now they're going to throw a true freshman in there to run that, and that could equal a big disaster also.
Yeah. So how is that going to work with Air Force and the Mountain West? I seen the Mountain West was thinking about trying to get back since Pac-12 was getting back, but that window of opportunity is so small. So is the Air Force just coming in to play this one game?
I don't know. They're playing. They're playing. I don't know if it's if I don't think it's going to be a one and done. I wouldn't imagine they wouldn't come back for just one game, but I don't know how that's going to pan out. I really don't. I know that. I know they're coming back. I mean, you're the Mountain West expert. You didn't hear anything about them starting up anytime soon?
I didn't hear nothing about. I was paying attention to Mountain West, and Mountain West was out. They heard SC was coming back in. Well, not SC. I call it Pac-12 the SC. But they heard that Pac-12 was coming back in, so they decided to rethink it and have some meetings and stuff. But I haven't heard anything since. But in those situations right there, the window of opportunity is getting smaller and smaller because in order to be considered for anything, you got to play at least like 7 conference games or something like that. So that's going to be difficult going into it. And if they weren't thinking of playing up to this point, how could they just
They're playing October 24th, Mountain West. I just read the article.
Okay.
Their football season is to begin on October 24th.
Okay. Yeah, that must have just came in this week.
Yeah, 6 hours ago.
Let me take some time and give a shout out, man, to our chat right here. We got Coco Bongo, Ron Walowski, and Ron Walowski says, "What's our strategies for live or halftime bets? Thanks for a great show. Love low backers." Now, this is not an informational show where we go into that type of stuff, but we're gonna have to open up the lounge on Friday for questions like that. But real quick, I'll say live for football is something I had to learn. I'm not too quite on it, but I've learned a little bit in basketball. But don't just jump into live thinking because it's live you have some type of advantage. Have a strategy and an edge for you go into live. And halftime bets, to me, has a lot to do with if you're watching the game and you see something in there that leads you, or you say that, it's, for example, in basketball, if a team shoots 60-70% from 3 in the first half, there's a high percentage that percentage will go down in the second half. So you would bet that at halftime. So thanks for the question, Ron. Our guy Dave Niddles is in the house. He says, what's the stadium capacity? Cutbacks is home field advantage, non-issue in college football this season. That makes a lot of sense. That's a really good question right there. As we see in the SEC, they had like 25 or 20% minimum, but some schools are doing 25% fans in there, and I think it makes a difference to some point. It's got to, because it definitely is making a difference in the NFL having no fans at all. So having a few fans probably helps in college, I'm pretty sure, but the jury's still out on that. Something we have to look forward into. I'm trying to weed out, I think, some of those edges, like the COVID stuff and, these situations with the crowds and all that. I think it's sometimes a reach, sometimes a little bit of what they call it, over analysis, putting those. You got to figure out what the X's and O's look like first and then consider those factors. So
I know home favorites haven't been doing well in college football, even with the crowds or not. So I don't think it's a non-issue right now. But maybe down the road when they start getting their football legs under them, and
But if
like you said, X's and O's right now, and crowd participation maybe down the road.
Yeah, but if a home favorite's losing, then the crowd noise probably is a little better for their away teams.
Yeah, are they pumping noise into these college stadiums, or are they not?
I'm not sure, man. I hope that they're not sitting there playing that same stuff that we got to hear, because to know that somebody's not there and to pretend like they're there, that's kind of a part of mental health type issue. But I don't know, man. But I hope they're not playing that. I hope we are just hearing that, because that would be kind of distracting.
Yeah, I've heard some are, some aren't, depending on, same thing in the NFL. Some teams are, some teams aren't. But I definitely, in the NFL, obviously, overs on the total are it's showing. I definitely think in college with some of these kids, to me, offense, it just makes it easier. So that to me, the crowd always would help, like the defense. Everyone challenged defense, like in stadium of 80,000, and Baton Rouge or something like that. One of those big, it could really help them out. Where when it's just dead silent or just a minimal fans, it's definitely helping the offense and hurting the defenses for sure. And I think it will continue to watch, and we'll see. And, as some go like 25% capacity or whatever they're doing, still it's not a full play, packed crowd.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, normally you're looking at about a 2 to 3 point differential for a home field advantage. But exactly. I think in a lot of instances, some of them are 0, and some are like a half a point to a point maybe at the max. So
totally agree. That's always the truth. We're good. Yeah, if you're home, it's 3 basically automatic, at least 2.5, 3. So with that, it's a little wiggle room here now with it. So I agree.
I wouldn't make it a big point for as part of your capping right now for the home field advantage. So you could pretty much take that out of the equation right now.
Okay, so if we're gonna take that out of the equation, what should we put in the equation, Big Ragoo?
I mean, everybody can do what they want. I would do maybe like a half a point to a point max.
Yeah, I totally agree.
If you want to figure something.
I totally agree that everybody's going to pretty much go to the window however they go to the window. But, I mean, there's plenty of theories some people use for edge. In some games it might work. Some games, 2-3 players go out on COVID and you jump on it. It might work, but it might have been going to work regardless if that information came through or not. So I try to stay away from that. I tried that earlier in week 2 or 3, and it didn't work well for me. So let's go ahead and jump into. You guys want to go right into the SEC?
Well, I got a bet I made that we talked about real quick. I'm Friday night here.
Tomorrow night.
And everyone, thanks for joining us in the chat. I know it's game 1 of the NBA Finals. Lakers, thanks for coming.
Exactly.
I know we're tipping off. Yeah, for coming in. I know we're tipping off right when we started, so I appreciate you guys. I took this the other day at 57. It's up to 59. I took the over in this BYU game, and I was going to wait because it might go a little higher. Everyone's high on BYU right now, how well they played, but I like Louisiana Tech, and it was 21.5. It's up to 24.5, and it might get a little more. I'm already, like I said, I took the over 57. Both these teams have lit up the scoreboard and given up a ton too. Even they played Houston Baptist, Louisiana Tech. They blew them out, but they gave up like 37 against them. 66-38. Sorry. So I look to the over with this. It's gone up to 59.5. And I like the points a little bit too here with Louisiana Tech I'm waiting because it might go higher, but I'm not sure. But it's at 24.5 right now. So what do you guys think about this Friday night game?
Yeah, I know Tech's played Southern Miss and Houston Baptist.
Yep.
And the same thing with BYU. And Navy didn't look good in that first game, obviously. And then they beat Troy, also BYU. So they've actually got the number 1 rated defense in the country right now, BYU. Just, in the short sample size there. But, yeah, I'm with you on the dog here. I kind of lean. It's not an official play for me, but I think there's some value in getting all those points, especially, if it goes to 24.5. I think I've got it at about a 20 or about an 18 to 19 point game is how I cap the game out. But I think there's a little value at La Tech there, getting the points.
Agreed.
Sorry, DJ, I didn't mean to step on you there.
No. Take your time. Do your thing. It's Wednesday. We ain't getting none of that going on. But yeah, but on that one right there, I took a look at this one earlier. I like that overlook. BYU looked really explosive in all the games that they played offensively, and it doesn't too much surprise me because we seen a flash of it last year during the season. So I think that BYU can definitely put up the points. On defense, I don't know. You got the grown man. They're a little couple years older than those guys over there at Louisiana Tech. So you might want to take a look at how many returners or stuff they have. If they got a lot of young guys, You got that brute man strength on defense. But that could be difficult. But I definitely like to overlook BYU didn't really play top tier teams so far. A team like Louisiana Tech could come in and start putting up some points. So if they can put up the points, I believe BYU can put up the points, and I think the over in that game probably has the most value.
Mm-hmm.
But accepting the points has been doing good lately, so that's a lot of points. I laid 31 with Texas A&M like a fool, and I'll never do that again. But land 24 with this BYU team that hasn't really played any tough competition. Out of conference game here, or it's always out of conference for them, really. But kind of they don't play often, so might be a lot of value with those points.
And a road team though coming in, we might see a little more covers and backdoor covers. I've always liked taking the points. You guys probably already found out, especially like home dogs.
I noticed that. I think I noticed that.
Especially at home, like Texas Tech, I thought was insane that it was plus 18 last week. But I think this year you got to watch it a little bit. That you could cover a little bit, being an away team coming in.
Oh, they're doing good right now.
Team.
They're doing the away teams are doing excellent.
Yeah, and I'd still watch it with even backdoor covers late in games and some of these with no fans. It's kind of dull. You get a lead, you get out to that always happens anyways, but you get out to 40-0, and then you let it go. And as we've already seen, teams had backdoor cover. That's all. Just throw a little thing in there.
Don't forget these teams that are traveling. With the teams that are traveling, they were saying that I guess the NCAA's got some kind of restriction on the amount of players they can take. Like normally, let's say they have anywhere between 90 and 110 players at home, but when they go on the road, they take 60. So the stronger teams, they're going to try to when they're on the road. Now I'm talking about teams that are on the road. They're taking a smaller group of kids, so you got your higher quality players. So you're not going to have the mop up guys that are going to come in, especially these heavy road favorites. So they're going to kind of cut back a little bit. So, but that's different than what we're talking about. We're talking about home favorites, but just keep that in mind too. When you got strong teams that are on the road, they're going to have their better players. They're going to probably put their foot on the gas a little bit heavier on the road to kind of get out early. So keep that in mind. But DJ was talking about Texas A&M. They've got some issues. They're playing Bama this week. You guys want to talk about that game?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I was going to go right into the SEC.
All right, go ahead.
Let's go into the juicy ones. I was going to go down the line and see if there was anything else y'all was interested in. And I'm just going down, what is this, ESPN, no particular order or anything like that. But shout out to our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh is in the chat with us today. And you guys can catch Dutch tomorrow on Jimmy the Bag Show right here on Odds early doing game 2 for the NBA. So make sure you guys get a chance to check out some up and coming good cappers like my man Dutch, man, coming up. But let's go. SEC right here. We got Florida, Texas. I'm not even on the right week. Let me get this straight. Okay, we got South Carolina, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys do, and now Florida looked great, putting up all those points. And I don't know if they look good enough for me to just jump on them. This week they're only laying 7.5. So South Carolina coming in this week. You guys gotta look on that.
No, they're laying more than that. They're laying like 18.
Oh, I'm missing. Yeah. Oh, it's something on my screen right here. Oh, that's 17.5.
Yeah.
That matters.
Yeah, that one little one, that straight up and down number, that means a lot.
Yeah, it was a little dirt right there on the one. So
yeah, listen, I told you guys last week that South Carolina Muschamp is going to be on a hot seat. He's going to have fire burning on him the whole way through, and he's got the toughest schedule in the nation. And he's not going to get any easier as they go forward. So they got to go on the road. They got to go to Swamp and play the Gators. Now, I mentioned that Trask was going to be pretty busy throwing the football because they didn't have a good success with yards after the contact with the run, and I think they kind of going to be a pass first team with the spread, which we seen that last week. So South Carolina is going to have to put some pressure on Trask here and slow that passing game down. And I don't think they played a bad game against Tennessee last week. Tennessee, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times. So did in South Carolina. Well, we kind of knew that was going to be probably the toughest game and one of the toughest games in the SEC. So they have played Florida tough in the past, but I don't know. I would lean with Carolina getting the points here. I think they're going to. I'm not going to bet the game, but it's a lean for me. I would probably say if it's already trickled down from 19.5, now you're saying 17.5, so it's 2 points drop. So looks like some of the money's going that way on the Gamecocks, and I think they got a bigger percentage of the bets too. I think Florida Gators are ranked number 3 as of right now too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I still have 18, but you're right. It's trending down. I'd lean with the Gamecocks as well. Not that they played a pretty solid game here with Hill as quarterback. He had a decent game. He threw for almost 300. Florida really ripped up Ole Miss, but it's game one of these SEC teams. We really didn't get – it's hard to gauge here, but I would definitely lean with grabbing those points for sure until we start seeing these teams.
Well, their defense gave it up too a little bit, right? Didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and the over-under is 57.5. Usually, like I thought that game would have been a little bit more defense-oriented, the Florida Ole Miss game, and it wasn't. It was, man, they were lighting it up. So, like I said, I think the crowd helps the defense because I think there's some of these totals, which is wild, could go up higher as we see the weeks go on. I think we could see some really high scores with some of these schools in the SEC and Big 12, some real high ones. Not all of game, but some of these ones could be real shootouts in my mind. But that'd be my lean. Grab the points here in this one.
Yeah, I would agree to say that in the SEC because despite all the factors, which I talked about a whole bunch of times, fatigue, cramps, and all that stuff, those guys put a lot of points on the scoreboard to say, or, that could have been part of the problem why they didn't play any defense. I don't know. I think week one is too quick to jump fast on anything, and especially the way that the SEC rolled out in week one. I don't really trust. I kind of looked it over to see if I could find a spot that I wanted to look at. Didn't see nothing I really like. I can go down the list and tell you one by one what I don't like about each one. But next up, we got Tennessee and Missouri. You gonna keep riding with Tennessee, Big Ragoo?
Yeah, a lot of people like the other side here. I think that's another one that's kind of slipping down. What's the current number on that one? We're looking at what?
11.5.
11.5. Yeah.
If my screen is clean.
Yeah. Your screen's clean. Yeah, I see 11.5 all over the place. So it's ticked up. Bookmakers got it 12.5. So if you like Missouri, you better. I would grab the 12.5. Now I was early in the week, it's still early in the week. I think I've seen some 12. So it's come down. It's popped. It went up a little bit. It's dropped back down. So, yeah, I'm still going to go with Tennessee. I'm going to ride. Let me tell you this. I'm going to ride Tennessee until they beat me. How's that? Because I got them picked. And I think they're in a good spot here, to be honest with you. I think this is where they can maybe kind of get their offense on track a little better. I don't think Missouri's defense is that good at all. And we'll see it. I think Tennessee is going to probably have a good day running the ball with that offensive line against this team. I think they're at least a touchdown and a half better here. So that's going to put me right at the number. It's probably one of those marginal games that's going to be close. But then again, they might win by 2 or 3 scores here. So I'm going to ride Tennessee in this one.
Okay. Yeah, you got something to say on that one, Conor Mack?
Just a little bit. I like it a little bit. Jeremy Pruitt seems to be, he's got a veteran team, and Ragoo, you dig in, this team a lot better than I have. I mean, I've done enough. I don't love the spread a little bit here. It's just a little too high for me.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones that's a tweener. So I'm off this game. I love to watch it. to see Missouri. But I think if Tennessee's for real, they will take care of business and cover here. If they are for real.
Realistically, it should be just right at double digits, Connor. It should probably, the way I graded the game out, it should be about an 8 or a 9 point game on paper.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think this game kind of jumps off the paper a little bit. I'm not going to go with the hard numbers. I'm just going to go with the more of emotional first game at home. Even though the crowd's not there, they're looking forward to playing at home this week and work out the kinks that they kind of, they always play Carolina tough. Like I say, every year that game goes down to usually a score too. But I think this is one of those games that they can kind of stretch their legs a little bit.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you the problem I have with this game. This game right here, you got Missouri coming off the game against Alabama, and I think Alabama first week out is going to give you a misconception, period. I mean, just the way Saban coach, you didn't really see all that they have. One thing I did see out of the Alabama players was a lot of fight, a lot of hunger, a lot of extra yardage after the catch, a lot of fighting for the extra 2 inches, and which is characteristics of them. And Missouri, I don't think they were built to handle that. They just, they folded to that. Now Tennessee might be a little bit more of they speed. So if you want to judge what happened last week with Missouri going into this week against Tennessee, which is probably what the line setters have to do at some point of the game, of the thing, it could be a lot of misconception after the first week, especially considering Missouri played Alabama, Tennessee played South Carolina. That's the problem I have with this game. Next game, Texas A&M, Alabama. Problem I have with this game, I was high on Texas A&M. Texas A&M played horrible. And I'm not sure if they're ready to step up to a team like Alabama. The line's only 17.5. That's kind of light for Alabama. But this is a point right here. Fisher, he got to make a point somewhere. This is one of those opportunities where even if he plays a good game and lose by a field goal or a touchdown, it's a win for the organization. It's a win for him. He might get his seat a little bit longer. So coaching wise, he might put a little bit more into this game. I don't know. I'm definitely off the Alabama first half trend, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with that game. I don't like it.
What you got, Connor?
Yeah, this is a tough one at 17.5. I was not impressed with the Aggies in game one. I haven't been impressed with them last year with Kellen Mond. He didn't impress me one bit. He's kind of like Nix from Auburn. Very inconsistent, can have light it up, a great half, a great series or two, but he's not very consistent. And it's too many points for Alabama, I think. But the Aggies looked rough game one against Van. That was tough. And Alabama comes to play, but that 17 and a hook it's a pass here. This is a tough one. I know people like to tease and stuff. Maybe if you tease it down, take Bama, but I'm going to lay off this. I got to see more from Kellen Mond. The running back Spiller he's got to have a good game, but can he against this Alabama, front seven? I'm not sure. So this is one I want to watch again this week too. Like usually we said they played those cupcake games. They're right into the thick of it week 2, but I want to keep my eye on this one for sure. Maybe an Alabama first half if you know what I mean? Because this could be a backdoor cover. Maybe. I don't know. I know you saw it, boss. You'll tell me here in a sec. You saw A&M the whole game. I'm sure you watched that because of that. Yeah. Let me know. What do you think? What do you think, bro?
Well, I just think coaching wise, Fisher knows better than to go into Alabama and think he's gonna just run up the scoreboard or anything like that. He has to play defense. Even when on offense, he has to play defense by time of possession and all those factors. And if you play the game right and you win with a winning strategy right there, you come inside of 17 every time, just off of appropriately managing the ball and the time and the game, which Fisher can do. So, I like that 17.5, but at the same time, the explosiveness, like I said before, I seen out of Alabama, which I see all the time, but it's still there despite the COVID. Like out of all the teams in college football that I think may have been having like secret practices and meetups and all that stuff during this whole COVID thing, Alabama's my number one suspect with Saban. He doesn't care if he can put four of you in the garage, each in the corner on the machine or whatever. He's gonna do it. And I think those guys look well working out, look well conditioned and everything in that game that they play. So I mean, if I had to take it a pick on it, I would take that first half Bama trend, just because you're going to get a line probably around what 8 or 9.
Yeah,
No,
nine, nine and
probably
a half,
10.
10.
Probably
Maybe
Yeah,
10.
10.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
10.
10,
10.
11 maybe.
See,
Because
10,
they
10, 10 would even be pushing it, because if Texas
Mm-hmm.
A&M manages the game right, they go down by
Mm-hmm.
like 7 in the first half.
listen,
Yeah.
the books, they're going to take the Clemsons, the Bamas, and they're gonna take these numbers and they're gonna jack them up in the first half.
If you want,
Everybody
yeah, you're
everybody
right.
everybody they were doing it last year. They're gonna continue that until they kind of even things out in their favor. But it's not going to be even. It's not going to be the issue of what Bama is going to try to do, because I know for a fact that Saban is going to try to kind of not run the score up, but he's going to keep the pressure on. He's not going to let his foot off the gas here. Remember I was telling you about, the kids on the road with their, the better core kids, instead of the third and the fourth stringers, they're probably going to be
Yes.
first and
Yeah.
second stringers. That's what's going to happen here with Bama. Not that they're going to take anything away from Jimbo and Mon, but they do have some issues. They do have some opt-outs. They lost their best defensive player, lost their best offensive player other than Mond, so, and Jimbo's got his hands full, and I think the continuity in the locker room, there's a little bit of finger pointing going on right now with this team. So I initially, when I seen the number, I was pretty strong on A&M. I'm kind of having a little change of heart here. I'm thinking I'm going to ride the first half. If I lay more than 10, 11, I will still do it. And then I'm going to probably take Alabama full game in this spot.
Hey,
Okay.
I would tell you 100 times out of 100 times, that's why we have shows and discussions like this, that sometimes through these discussions and these shows, we talk ourselves into the right spot. And, if it's something we've ironed out by this conversation, Big Ragoo's probably right up the right alley, and his pick right there. I love it. But let me give a shout out to our guy who you can also catch, I believe, right here on Oz.com too. Boston Nick. He's in the chat with us today. And we also have God Bless the USA in the building as well. Now let's jump into this next game. Kentucky and Ole Miss. Now, I'm high on Kentucky, even though they kind of gassed out in the second half. They look decent. They did the things that they do well. They did in the first half. They just kind of let go in the second half. Now, here they playing this Ole Miss team. I don't trust it. Too much offense over there at Ole Miss, not enough defense. The score could get outrageous. They could get tired again. And this week, they're the favorite by 6.5. I don't think I want to take Kentucky this year in the favorite spot. Give them to me when they're a dog.
I agree, boss. I totally agree with you here. I want to stay away from Kentucky, especially as a favorite. And as I said, I lost that bet with Ole Miss last week, but I'm leaning here with them with the points. I don't know if I'm going to take it, but that'd be my first lean, was to take it. Kentucky looked okay, faded down the stretch against Auburn. They look like a Kentucky team, 6-6. Maybe they might be better, and maybe they will. It's only game one, like we talked about. We got to see more, but that'd be my first look. Would be to grab the points here, just as a lean with Ole Miss. What about you, Ragoo?
Yeah, I think down the stretch, Kentucky kind of muffled that game up away. Giving the Tigers a couple easy scores deep in their own territory. When they turn the ball over. But yeah, I'm with you on that too. I would like Ole Miss. I think Kentucky. I don't know if they're gonna. I'm not gonna say they don't have the firepower to compete, because they're a well coached team. They just got to take care of the football and catching points. Like DJ says, I want to be on the plus side, or I want to be on the plus side with Kentucky, not on the minus. So they're gonna have to work some things out. And we know they got the quarterback coming back, here. But I think Kiffin's going to throw some different looks at these guys, and I think you're on the right side there with that. I don't have a play in this game, but just looking at it on paper and
Yeah,
what I see.
and Kiffin's no rookie to the SEC, so
Mm-mm.
he knows exactly what's going on. If he could put up that many points in week 1, he could put up enough. He could put up more points to beat Kentucky, and not even have to play defense. He could just tire him out. So they kind of heavy run sometimes. They can pass the ball a little bit. Kiffin can throw the ball around all day and just have him play chase for the whole game. So wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, in the words of my man Teddy. But next, Auburn and Georgia. This is probably going to be one of the best games in the SEC. We usually get this game maybe like 5 games in the season or something like that. We getting this game number 2. One of these teams right here is probably just not prepared. Now, Auburn last week, they struggled with Kentucky at times, but they did show that they were a class better in that second half. Now they meet the same class against a Georgia team that should have just came out at the beginning and ran all the way through these guys, but they struggled at the beginning as well. So,
you know why they struggled
right here?
No Justin Fields. No Justin Fields.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they had some major quarterback issues. I mean, until they straightened themselves out in the second half, and that was a game. If you were, if you kind of had a little wherewithal, you could have got down on Georgia in the second half. Now that it's hindsight's 20/20, but that way better play in the second half with the quarterback change with Bennett. That kind of put some points on the board.
If I had to take a play, looking at what we looked at so far, in this game right here, I think I would go with the under, because both teams move kind of slow. If you play a slow game, they'll play a slow game with you, as long as you want to do it. And the Georgia guys are big. These are big guys. They don't want to just be running up and down the field or nothing like that. So if I had to take a pick, I'd take the under, and I think they have it already priced appropriately at 44.5. So they know what's going on right here. It's no puzzle.
Yeah, 44.5. Wow.
I agree. It's lined right where it's at. We know we got Auburn. We got Bo Nix there. This is a good one to start at. Georgia's got a ton of talent. The quarterback position, me wanting to bet this game, that's why I'm going to stay off. And they're 6.5 point favorites, because Auburn struggled the last years. They can't beat Georgia. That's one of the ones they just can't beat them. They haven't really covered it either. So, and this quarterback thing with Georgia, they got to figure out who they want to go with. Now they got JT Daniels even in the picture. SC they got a mix of 3 guys.
Yeah, how much time is he going to get though? How much time do you think JT Daniel gets if he plays? I
don't know. That's why in game 2, that's why I can't take this. We don't know who's the quarterback and who will be in there. Mathis, Bennett, or so this I gotta stay out.
It's kind of hard for me to take JT Daniels, a guy who got his position snatched at SC. And not only that, is he ran too. After that, he said, I ain't got a chance over here. I'm out of here.
He's out of here.
And we find that with the transfers a lot. A lot of them are reaching to find a home. Look at Ghostin. Ghostin ran the UCF and stunk up the field. So, I tread lightly with that one. Let's keep it moving so we can get a little further than the SEC today. But Arkansas, Mississippi State, not much I can say about that one. I probably would take my guy Leach over here at Mississippi State after what he did to LSU. What is this? 18 is nothing to ask for against the Arkansas team with a lineman coach as the head coach, that all he could do is come in, try to establish the defense, try to establish a run game in year number 1. That's all he could do. That's all he knows how to do. That's the top of his skill set, and that's probably what he's going to do. Mississippi State's on the hand. Mike Leach distributed that ball in the SEC like he was in the Pac-12. So in this game right here, if I had to lay the points and take a team, I'd take it with Mississippi State.
Yeah, their defense showed up against Georgia last week, but will they show up against this team here? I don't know. I mean, that's gonna be a rough spot. But I still expect Felipe Franks to throw the ball. They didn't bring him in there just to run the ball, so he's a pretty dynamic quarterback. So they'll get him mixed up. But I don't know how much defense Mississippi State's going to actually play in this game either. So
Exactly.
and then if you look at that number, that's a pretty high total, 69 points for a team that's going to run the ball. I don't know if they're just going to run the ball. We know that Mississippi State's probably going to get theirs, but it's going to be, can Arkansas slow Mississippi State down? And then if you can, maybe you got a shot at getting that number, or you think they're just going to kind of run it up on them and cover that big number on the road. I think there's a little bit. I think if they didn't beat LSU like they did, this is probably like a 10-point game. Maybe 9-10 points. So maybe there might be some value, believe it or not, in Arkansas getting the points somehow. But I got to figure that one out.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you. If they don't beat LSU, I think this is maybe an 8-9 point spread for sure.
Yeah.
So, and if I had to lean, I'd take the points with Arkansas. Mississippi State, I can't believe how dominant LSU. I don't know if they were just, it's the first game, but they were just on get lit up. That was just unheard of to see. I'm sure Orgeron, they're going to fix things. But yeah, if you go back before, if you could, I don't know if you had the look at headlines. Is that what you're looking for, Ragoo?
No, well, actually, I got my sheet here, and I actually have Mississippi State as a 12-point favorite. So there's a little bit of value there.
Yeah. So, but I would have thought the same thing without that huge win, LSU. That'd be the price. So I'd lean to the points with Arkansas, but that's a lean. I'm going to look into it. If it gets, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I got him as a play Arkansas. Taking the points.
I'm gonna have to disagree big time. They brought over Castillo. Castillo went for 623 yards in the air against a athletically talented team. Now Orgeron couldn't hold Mike Leach's jockstrap as a coach, if you ask me. But you know what I'm saying? In this one right here, his offense was so explosive, man. He came out with that West Coast spread and just distributed the ball to where the open guy was. Yeah, exactly. He came over here and did what he did. And I don't think the SEC has seen that type of offense. And this offense is an offense that's mixed between the Big 12 and the Pac-12. And it's not ready for the SEC right now. Now, some of another go up a couple classes, talent-wise, and try to do the same thing, you may end up with a bunch of turnovers. But against another team like them, mediocrely ranged, talented team, I think Leach can run away with that.
Yeah, we've seen Leach fall on his face too a time or two also. So we know he's going to be geared up for it. There's no doubt about it. So whether they take that wave and they ride it, into they're playing at home. But remember, I was telling you these home teams not covering these big numbers. We'll see what happens with this one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think that one comes on kind of late. So that's that late money. If you got to make it out of a hole, or if you're already so far up that you just want to keep going, then you take some of that late money.
7:30.
7:30. Last but not least, Vandy and LSU. I don't know. All I can say is dumpster fire right here. I didn't expect as much out of Vanderbilt as we got out of them last week, and I didn't expect LSU to play so poorly. So if you put those two together, it spells stay away.
Exactly.
Do you see
I totally agree.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh.
I'm taking the dog.
I would take the dog.
Listen, I'm holding my nose, and I'm taking Vandy plus the 21 points all day long.
Yeah. I see 21 and a half. Did you already get it at 21?
No, I didn't play it. I'm waiting to the last minute because people are still going to pound. They're going to think that that game was an aberration, and they don't know. Like the article I wrote, there's a lot of empty doors, open doors in that hallway for LSU, and they're going to have a hard time closing them back up.
I totally agree.
Hey,
I roll the dog all day if that would I choose here. Got
yeah, I say 1st and 10. Do it again, Big Ragoo. Go ahead and sweep the board.
it.
I don't know about sweeping the board, but I'm going to get my share of it.
Let's jump
Sure.
into the ACC real quick. I'll go through them kind of fast because we already kind of deep into the show.
Yeah, we can hit them on Saturday for sure.
Louisville and Georgia Tech. Any looks on that? I think I still reign correct that Louisville has not proven themselves yet, and Georgia Tech I think may have got a bad beat with Syracuse with some of the turnovers and stuff that happened. Not to say that they dominated the game, but Syracuse didn't win that. Between the lines, they had a lot of extra stuff help them. But Virginia Tech, North Carolina.
Nope.
Nothing.
I lean with the dog. I lean with but that's it. Yeah. Oh, you mean North Carolina, Boston College?
Yeah, North Carolina, Boston College.
Yeah, I think I'm on the wrong week. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I jumped wrong week again. Here we go.
But I don't like it. It's under 2 touchdowns. That's a stay away for me.
Let's go. North Carolina, Boston College. Boston College, they didn't really appeal like I thought they would be last week. I thought they opened up the pass to where they were going to be able to move the ball in the air as well as on the ground. Didn't happen. Playing against this North Carolina team, money's going to come in on North Carolina, though. If you're a guy like my guy Conor, you play the dog, you may have a little value there. I don't know. But next up, let's go NC State, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, now, you know what you're going to get with them. You're going to get about a 20 to 24 point game with Pittsburgh. If a lot of money's coming up on Pittsburgh already, they get like 95% of the action their way. The total's low. You're looking at a mid like 46. 46. It's down from 48.5 down to 46.5. So you got a 2-point drop there. So and NC State. They shit the bed last week. They looked horrible. So, and that's a recency bias game there too, Conor. What do you think about that one?
NC State cannot stop anybody. So I think this total's low, even though Pittsburgh doesn't have a dynamic offense.
Right.
I'd look to the over here for sure. I don't know about laying the 14 with Pittsburgh. I'd lean to the dog here plus 14, but I think points will be scored. NC State from what I've watched, they can't stop anybody. So I'm leaning the over here, and I'm thinking about already getting on it and playing it at 47. So that's a look.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh kind of stud. I think they're a little stud on defense. And
I agree.
Offense,
but Pittsburgh, I agree. Okay, yeah.
On offense, they like to run the ball as well. So I think that could lead to an under. But the total is kind of low. But I don't know.
Check out some of NC State's last games. Even the last year and even the start of this year, they can't stop anybody. They're giving up 50 points a game.
They're bad.
Very bad.
Yeah, well, that does help the over. We're going to fly right past Jacksonville State and Florida State.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a tough matchup for Florida State. And next we'll go into Virginia Tech and Duke. You guys like Virginia Tech-Duke game? Now, I was high on Duke. I'm not going to go to the well 2, 3, and 4 times with the same team and get the same results. That would be mentally insane. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay off this game. You guys like that?
Yeah, Duke's got issues right now. I'm not going to be on Duke. If anything, they're going to be a bet against for me. But I'm not on that game currently.
Yeah, me either. But I would lean. Yeah, this is a stay away for me. I love a double-digit dog at home, but I really don't want Duke here at 10.5.
And that means if Conor stayed away from a home plus what's that, 10 points, 10.5 points.
Yeah, double-digit dogs.
That's a real stay away right
my
there.
numbers show Duke does have a little bit of value, about 3 points worth. So if that's
I do. They're a double-digit dog at home. I think they got a little value. It's just not enough for me to play. But
the value, my eye test value is not going to put me on it. That's
no.
The thing.
No,
yeah, I did see see a little value with Duke in the first half. They came in and threw the ball around pretty good, but second half adjustments killed them, and they lost the game right there. So, last but not least, Virginia and Clemson. I would first have Clemson just as a trim bet. I don't know what to say about these two teams. I think Clemson has been another one of those teams like Alabama. Probably had a few practices. Probably had a lot of stuff going on. They're one of the teams trying to hurry up and get all their players to have the COVID, so they wouldn't have to worry about having the COVID during the season. So, I would. It's kind of a stay away, but if I had to, I'd take the first half.
Hey, wasn't this the championship game last year, or was it the year before? I'm trying to remember now. Virginia, and then they play in the ACC championship.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year, I think.
Yeah, Virginia. So Mendenhall, because Mendenhall, they got their first
and they blew them out,
division and they got destroyed. So, they're playing in Death Valley, which is probably going to be Sleepy Valley this weekend. But we'll see. We'll see how they come off. Maybe you're right on that first half. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to be looking to those plays until I start losing. I'm going to keep pounding those first half power teams. Top 3 teams in the first half. It's going to be a
That'd
trend.
Be my only look. Yeah, same. Agree with you guys. That'd be my only look here as well.
Nice.
There will be a time when that doesn't work, but I agree. You know what I mean? There'll be a game or two, but for the most part, like Alabama, Clemson, they take the foot off the gas pedal, Clemson, but first half for sure. Yeah, that'd be my only lean. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Well, let's jump over to the conference with the a lot of team name, but only a few teams in it. The Big 12. We learned that from Big Ragoo last year, but let's jump into that one. TCU in Texas. You said you had something to say about that one, Conor?
No, not really. Right now I'm looking. I take TCU. It's dropped to 11.5, but that's my early lean.
This one right here.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, after Texas and Texas Tech last week, it was a natural showdown. Like that's what goes down in that game. But it was too early in the season to see that, to be able to weigh that in going into the next week. When I capped TCU earlier in the season, it was a rebuild year for TCU. So I don't know how that's going to fly. And a team that scored so many points last year, I pass.
Yeah, I need more with TCU. I'd like it if there was more. Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah, I need more.
We know TCU lives in the trenches. That's that style of play that they go after. Defensive, always a top 10 defense. Especially in the conference, they're near the top, anyways. Them and Baylor, but I don't know, man. Texas, they lit up the scoreboard. Are they going to light it up against this team here? And how many weapons? Dugan's going to be the quarterback again for TCU here, but I don't know. I think double digits is the right number. Maybe Conor's right. Some money coming back on TCU, but I got a little value in the number with Texas, and I'm not big on Texas as a favorite usually, especially double digits. But I show value on Texas.
Man, all those teams in Texas would be swinging for the Longhorns, so I don't know. I'd stay away from that game. Period. But you said you had one on Baylor and West Virginia. I see a lot of people are high on Baylor. I didn't get a chance to really watch the game when I capped Baylor a little early in the season. Kind of looked like they were missing too many spots to fill, including a phenomenal coach that was gone. And I'm going to stay off on Baylor till I see what they're really about. But somebody got to lean on Baylor?
I lean under this game, under the total. I'll lean under, yep.
And the total's at 53?
Yeah.
53.5, yeah. I got a little lean on Baylor, and it's not huge. They gave up some points to Kansas, but they won easily. I still like Brewer. They got enough pieces, enough offense, and West Virginia's kind of in a rebuilding mode, so Baylor's a lean here. It might be playing Saturday. So
next up, Oklahoma State and Kansas. Now, how did that bet work for you last week, Conor, against Ole Miss with Kansas?
Oh, Baylor killed him. It was all good.
Oh, okay. So Kansas gets Oklahoma State this week. You think the old man?
No, I don't want anything here.
Nothing there.
Nothing with Oklahoma State as on the road. Kansas is very bad, and Baylor. I think they won by I don't know what it was, 25. They covered the 17, but yeah, I'm off this one.
That's another team with quarterback issues right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I take that back. I think he's coming back this week. So check that box if you're looking at you're into that game. There's a good possibility you might have that Sanders coming back this week.
Well, I had Oklahoma State early in my notes as a big under team. I don't know how I haven't kept track to know how well that's working now, but I mean most of these Big 12 games for me are layoffs. But next one, this Texas Tech team after this 100-point game with Texas comes over to see Kansas State. You guys got to look on that one.
Pass.
Pass for me.
Oh man, pass. That was too fast to pass. Well, I passed too because we don't know what we're gonna get out of Kansas State, and we can't judge Texas State just off of that one game. I mean Texas Tech just off the one game against Texas. That's like a rival game. It's always 60, 70 points. I don't care how good Texas is, how bad Texas Tech is. You're gonna get what you got last week in that matchup. But last but not least, a game that I actually found interesting in the Big 12, which is Oklahoma versus Iowa State. Now, I tend to fade cappers and a lot of the public when they seem to come down on teams, and I try to bring the light out of teams and bring the best out of teams. And I don't think Oklahoma is this far down to be a 7-point favorite versus an Iowa State team that showed us that they could be beaten easily, and they're missing a lot. Like they're struggling to survive over there. This is a point. This is a team like Oklahoma has to step on in these situations to be anything later on in the year. So I really like Oklahoma. I had that as one of my plays that I may take this week with Oklahoma because I gotta size my plays down because I'm too far out there. So in the Big 12, I like Oklahoma right here.
I'm with you on that one. You think they bounce back after that embarrassing?
Absolutely. I mean, they have the coaching, the staff, and the talent to do so. Whereas Iowa State is missing some coaching, missing some talent, missing a lot of stuff. And schools like Iowa State is fine with an 8-5 season. Or they're cool with that. That's okay. That's a decent year. A team like Oklahoma to take more than 2 or 3 losses is horrible. So in spots like this, they got to come out and beat Iowa State.
I agree. The line's too low.
I like that.
Yeah, but normally Iowa State's covered 4 in a row against Oklahoma. If Oklahoma didn't play so bad last week, the spread would probably be 13 or 14, and I'd be all over Iowa State, all over it.
Yeah.
But
if it was 14, I would be over it.
So
yeah.
It's not. So they lost. Oklahoma lost to K-State. So it's very low. I'd like to get it under a touchdown to take Oklahoma, but still, I'm not going to play the game. Oklahoma should step up, but I don't want to see them. They should step up, so I'm off it.
Yeah, this is a lean for me. I got double digits Oklahoma on my capping, but right now it's a lean. But I like Oklahoma.
4 in a row. Iowa State's 4 in a row against them. They played tough, but it's way lower than it would have been last week. It probably would have been over 10, 12, 14, 13 around there.
Yeah, I got around 13. I got 12, 13 on my sheet.
Well, we getting kind of late in the count right here.
Yeah, we're good.
We probably could glance over one more conference, maybe the American League or the Sun Belt or the CUSA. Y'all don't have no looks in those leagues? Y'all want to save those for Saturday?
We can get those on Saturday.
We'll pick it back up. I think we got two. We got SEC and the Big 12. We're solid.
Yeah, there's only one more big game that's decent is Memphis SMU. So other than that, there's still other games, but yeah, we can get to it on Saturday.
So anybody got any? What do you got for officials? Anybody got any official plays? Then locking them in.
I'm after you giving me your blessings, Big Ragoo. I think I want to lock that Oklahoma play in.
You gonna lock it down?
I mean, I'm strong on the Oklahoma play. I'm almost willing to go back to the board and take the under in the Kentucky game. But that's it for me.
I got two official plays, but they're not going to be official probably till they go. But you can put me down right now and call me whatever you want, stupid, idiot, or one of the sharpest tools in the shed.
Oh,
Arkansas and Vanderbilt, the two worst teams rated in the conference. I'm taking the dogs this week. I'm gonna
oh,
wait to kickoff.
you know what that sounds like, Big Ragoo? That sounds like a big chinga play.
A Bichinga. There you go, Bichinga.
Big chinga.
Yeah, I'm taking. Those are official for me right now. Arkansas and Vandy.
Yeah, see, you know, chinga means F it in Spanish. So that's one of those ones you just saying F it, I'm jumping in. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And it's big chinga. But how about you, Conor Mac?
I haven't put anything on Saturday. I will. Like I said, I just did that. I took the 57 before I went to 59 in the Friday night game with La Tech and BYU. And I'm pretty sure I was seeing if I can get 25 or 25 and a half, but I think I'm going to take the points as well.
Yeah.
So Friday night. So
I'll probably be on that too. I haven't put it in
Yeah.
yet, but that's a strong lean. I'm going to probably more than likely be on that. Maybe we get a little more push towards that number on our side too. I'm thinking that's why I'm waiting too. But yeah, more than likely I'm on La Tech.
Just because I want to be authentic while I'm right here on the show, I think I'm going to go in right now and I'm going to play the Oklahoma play because I think that 7 points could easily get to 7.5 by the weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and play Oklahoma minus the 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're right. I think it's going to be close. It's going to bounce. It's kind of, I don't know. We'll see.
Which way is it been going right now? Well, it overnight line was 10.5, 7, and it shaded. It's actually shaded to 105. Some spots 115, some 108. So it's all over the place, really. So
it shouldn't get under 7. It shouldn't get under 7,
yeah,
right? I mean, because they jump all over. Everyone will jump all over.
I think that's probably going to be the buyback number there. Is going to be 7.
Yeah, well, I'm in at 7. I wouldn't take it at the 7.5, just because if you look at the downside of Oklahoma and what's been going on lately, the reason why there is falling. If you buy into that a little bit, 7.5 is a little bit too much, but 7 is very comfortable for me to take with a team that like to score. Not only does Oklahoma like to score, but they're one of those teams that don't mind running the scoreboard up on you. And they're also a team that's been constantly trying to work on their defense. So the defense over here could hold it this time, and 7 is a short number for a team that likes to score.
Yeah. That was their inconsistencies was when they played defense, they played pretty good when they played, and when they were really bad, there's no in between with their defense.
Yep.
My guy Joseph Bowen says, free money. Better get it right. Oak is free money without the N. But we're a little bit over right now, man. We'll get into some more things later on this week. I kind of went through it was kind of difficult. Usually around the 3rd, 4th, 5th week of the college football season, we have a big enough sample size to start comparing the stats.
Yeah.
But it's very, very difficult right now when you're talking about rankings and defense and rankings and offense and third down conversions, stuff like that, because you got teams that's out here that played 2 games, some played 3 games, some played 4.
Yeah. Some ain't played none yet. And they're going to be starting. We got 3 conferences that are going to start up. The Mountain West, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12. They're coming. So it's going to be a continuation process all year. It's going to be something, and it's going to be a work in progress. Everything's going to be a work in progress. So, week to week, it's almost going to be like the NFL.
Hey, sounds like we're going to be able to beat the bookie all year, fellas.
I hope so. That's the plan.
But hey,
I'm gonna say it's never been so easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the Heat first quarter here. Lakers been losing fourth quarter every game. First quarter every game in the bubble. So, just certain stuff about these times, just like we see some of the craziest things happening. Hey, we can stay above the line and beat the bookies. That'll be the craziest thing happen for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the bookies are up
Love
against it too. They're in the same boat we are. So just stay sharp. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but I think it equals out the playing field a little bit more. Like, some of the advantages that the bookies had before, as far as inside information and all that kind of stuff, social distancing, not being able to have unnecessary people in unnecessary places. I think that could be a bonus, man. It could be a bonus for us cappers. All we gotta do is stay at it, stay together, you know, have places like this that we could come and talk
Yeah.
about it, express ourselves, and I think we'll get to some winners, man. But that's enough time for us right here on odds.com. If you haven't subscribed to odds.com, please do. I ain't gonna tell you we get a bonus when you subscribe, but it just makes us feel a lot better when we see odds.com steadily growing, because we want to be able to reach more and more people.
Hit the
man.
like.
So
well, this way we come back next week and talk again to you guys.
Yeah,
you want to see us again, don't you? Push the like button. Smash the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button. Have a friend come in, tell them check out the show, and hit the like button too, because that's gonna be able to allow me to have cheese on my cheeseburger.
just the cheese.
Just the cheese.
Just the cheese.
I can afford the burger. I can afford the burger, no problem. But
just
the extra they give me for the likes, I can now afford the cheese.
I love it.
So we're gonna get out of here, man. Y'all got anything to say to the people before we get out of here?
No, thanks for coming, everybody. Always, like we said, we're trying to give out good bets, beat the book, crunch the numbers, and get winners every week.
Let's go.
That's it. We keep grinding week in, week out, and I'll see you at the window and see you Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock on the West.
Come back and see us Saturday, please.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.